Sawasdee krap. Good afternoon once again. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of December, 2021. And this is the English language summary of the press briefing here at the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA. Today, of course, is the last briefing of this year, the last briefing that we have here at the CCSA for the year 2021. Throughout this whole year, we have sought to communicate important messages, as well as keep the guard and alert and the awareness up about the domestic situation, as well as the global situation, and all the various measures, all the efforts that we have been pushing forward throughout the year to contain and keep COVID-19 at bay. Of course, the situation in the country and around the world had been exacerbated by the new variant, omicron, which was discovered towards the end of this year. We will continue with this effort, and we will continue with this fight no matter what it takes in the year ahead, and with your cooperation, with the cooperation of the audience here who have been tuning in and listening to the important messages from the CCSA throughout this year, as well as throughout last year as well. We thank you very much for your attention and for your cooperation. Dr. Thuisin ended his briefing about the upcoming New Year celebration. Of course, it's almost the last days, of course, the last three days of the year 2021. And for next year, 2022, I believe that it will be a very important year for us to finally tackle and take care of the COVID situation, at least to make it not become as dangerous as the past year. We hope to contain it no matter what it takes. We'll try our very best. Now, what does it take then? Of course, it takes cooperation. It takes the adherence to universal prevention. And of course, we hope that we will be not having the high number of fatalities and high number of infections that we see during this past year. So I'll just start off first with the recap of the CCSA meeting that we had this morning. As usual, discussing the current global situation, where the daily number of cases reported worldwide has significantly increased. Now you see an infographic there on screen with the bars there. Now the daily number of cases reported worldwide has now increased to over 1 million confirmed cases today already. Now in my script, that's in bold. It's very important to note that there are over 1 million, to be exact, 1,135,805 new confirmed cases today worldwide, with the Omicron variant being found worldwide. The overall situation in Asia in particular, now the infographic on screen there, it's designated by each region, each continent. So the overall situation in Asia, however, remains stable, with Thailand still ranked at number 24 in the world for the number of cases. So as more festivities and gatherings are expected during the upcoming New Year's holiday, the meeting of the CCSA this morning took note of the preparation in terms of the medical facilities, in particular for the New Year season, including the measures for home isolation and community isolation facilities. On the Thailand pass, as usual, we continue to closely monitor the number of incoming travelers and trends in imported cases. We have information that as of 9 a.m. today, we have logged a total of 727,578 applications on the Thailand Pass system for entry into Thailand. And for the month of December, for the most of the month already, which is the 1st to the 28th of December, we have a total of 260,076 travelers who have entered Thailand for December, so a little bit less than 300,000 for the whole month. And of this number, big majority, 219,000, entered via the Test and Go, or the quarantine exemption scheme, over 35,000 through the sandbox scheme, and over 5,400 plus via the quarantine system, which is either 7, 10, or 14 days, which we had elaborated already last time. And out of the total number of travelers, 946 tested positive for COVID, which makes up 0.36% of all travelers coming to Thailand had tested positive for COVID, less than 1%. Now for the top 10 countries entering, we have on chart for you, Germany, UK, Russia, US, Singapore, and the rest as you see on screen. Just once again, I'd like to reiterate that those who have already registered in the Thailand Pass system under the Test and Go and under the Sandbox program before the 22nd of December, pause or suspension on that date, those who have registered before that date are still allowed to travel to Thailand under their original travel plans. They will also undergo a second post-arrival RT-PCR test on day 5 to day 6 at no additional cost to the travelers. So we kindly ask all incoming travelers for your understanding and for your cooperation in following all of the guidelines and requirements to ensure health and safety for the general public. The CCSA and other related agencies continue to monitor incoming travelers closely to make sure that the situation in Thailand remains under control. On the progress of the vaccination program in the country, we've now administered more than 103 million doses of vaccines already. Out of this, in terms of the latest report on a daily basis, reported today, which means that it is the number of doses administered yesterday in one day. Yesterday, we had over 464,000 doses. And currently, 71% of the population have received their first dose. That's good to hear, over 70% already, 71% receiving the first dose, and over 60%, 63.5% in particular, of the population have already received their second dose. As for booster dose, for those who are planning to get their booster shot, the different combination of vaccines, we have suggested third dose, interval between second dose and third dose as information available for you. The CCSA, of course, continues to encourage everyone to get vaccinated and to get their booster shot as soon as possible. If you've already received your first and second, since vaccination can reduce severe symptoms and fatalities. So moving on to the numbers, daily numbers, general situation that we have for today, 75 new confirmed cases, as compared to a slightly higher number of new recoveries at 2,695. Currently under treatment, under active cases, now stands at 33,502. This is a declining number. New fatalities, also a declining number, stands at 17 cases reported for today. The average daily number of cases in the past week is 2,604 cases as the average for this week. Less than last week. It's less than an average that's less than last week. And it shows a good sign that the number is continuously going down. However, some provinces are still under close monitoring, close surveillance. In particular, Bangkok and provinces like Chonburi, Khon Kaen, Samut Prakan. Thailand has now detected a total of 739 cases of the Omicron variant. And of this number, 149 were detected yesterday alone. The CCSA will continue to monitor reports on Omicron and other variants to adapt measures as necessary. In terms of facilities, I mentioned a little bit about facilities just now in the beginning. Fatalities. The daily number of fatalities is on a downward trend with 17 fatalities being reported today. Of this number, 16, the majority are elderly, and one case has underlying health conditions. So that makes up 17. And out of the 17 fatalities, 11 of those have never received any vaccines or had not received the full doses. So this, of course, shows to prove the importance of vaccination. As for the top 10 provinces with COVID cases, we'll have a slide coming up for you shortly on that. The numbers in green, of course, means less than the previous day. Red means more than the previous day. So it's good to see now that Bangkok has less number of cases today than the previous days, as well as Chonburi. So moving on in particular to Bangkok, the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, or BMA, is planning to provide the fourth shot or the booster dose for frontline medical staff, frontline medics, as well as chronic patients in the Bangkok metropolitan area. So according to the governor of Bangkok, in order to cope with Omicron, his plan, of course, is to provide the fourth shot to all medical personnel and patients with underlying diseases. Now, these underlying chronic diseases include cancer, heart disease, as well as diabetes. So that's good to hear about this plan of the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. Of course, because Bangkok is one of these centers in Thailand wherein we have found the highest number of infections, as well as Omicron as well. In the chart just now, we had 358 in Bangkok alone in one day. So since we're approaching the last days of 2021, it might be high time to reflect what we have done, how effective our measures have been, how disciplined we all have been, how much we have cared or talked to friends and family and relatives on how to protect ourselves. Because this week and next week, of course, festivities and gatherings, we'll see a lot of that. Festivities and gathering with family and friends expected a lot this today onwards, I guess. So during this week, please keep your guard very, very high and practice universal prevention for your own safety and, of course, of your loved ones. Now, we have on screen here VUCA, VUCA. So that would stand for V for vaccines, U for universal prevention, C for COVID-free setting, and A, of course, for the antigen test kit, or ATK. So VUCA is very important for this day and age, particularly this week as well. So please keep all of these in mind, these words in mind, and of course we have to practice it as well and remind the people, everyone that we know as well. So finally, we wish you a safe, COVID-free and happy New Year's. Please don't forget to put on your mask, keep your mask on, and try to take the ATK test regularly. At many offices now in Thailand, it's kind of compulsory already that we take the ATK test on a weekly basis. So that's very, very important. We'll be having the next CCSA briefing on Wednesday, the 5th of January 2022. So we'll have quite a number of days in terms of the break. And then on Friday, the 7th of January 2022, we'll be having the general CCSA meeting as well. In the meanwhile, the CCSA will continue to monitor the situation. We'll have the daily assessment, but not the briefing. The next briefing will be on the 5th of January. We'll have the daily assessment and all the information on social media to provide the public with the information about what we're monitoring and the assessment. If there is any urgent situation that has to be put under control, the CCSA will be on alert during this holiday for everyone. So with that note, I thank you very much. I wish you a pleasant year ahead. I wish you the best for the very good holidays, healthy holidays that we'll be having throughout this week and the weekend as well. And hope that we all stay strong and stay safe as always. Thank you very much. We hope that 2022 will be a very good year for all of us. Thank you for listening in and tuning in through the past year, this whole year. And we'll see you again next year. Thank you. Sawadee krap.